Hi, my name's Tony Cohen. I'm an independent promoter with the company Prove It. This is Social Media 101. What I want to cover today is the very basics, I'm referring to notes here, of social media and how, in my case, 100% of my personal business was built through it. Basically, messenger inquiries, which I'm going to go on to. So social media obviously is the marketplace where people's attention is. There are various types. Now, this pertains to you, depends on what suits you best. I know people who do very, very well off LinkedIn. I don't, it's not my field. So number one is don't try and fit something that's not you. Go with something that fits you. So LinkedIn can be done. Twitter is a bit of a decline. The interactivity through Twitter is not as good as certain social media sites. YouTube is great, as this will probably be recorded on YouTube, is great for certain things. However, if you're not aware, YouTube doesn't share well onto things like Facebook. You very rarely see it to do with corporate situations between Google and Facebook. So if you're recording things onto YouTube and expecting people to see it on Facebook, it's not really going to happen. To make up for that, though, there is Facebook Live and Facebook Recording Live, which we'll go into today, has a greater impact as far as getting your message out there. There's also Instagram, great for getting followers, utilizing hashtagging, which we'll speak about in a second. Again, interactivity, fairly zero. Snapchat is for a certain age demographic, let's say 16 to 23, if that's your age demographic, and that's fine. Snapchat's the place you want to be. Again, that's not my forte, so I'm not going to try and explain something I haven't built. I haven't built through LinkedIn, although I know people have. My foundation is Facebook because that's the biggest marketplace. So if you're going to be in a marketplace, you want to be in the biggest one. And I post things on Instagram. You can get great filters, great pictures, share them onto Facebook. I link a Twitter account into my Facebook. I don't tweet anything. But if you actually look at my account, you'll see there's 15,000 tweets. It's just everything I've put onto Facebook. If you go into your settings on Instagram and on Facebook, you can link everything to everything. So you don't have to be all day long working on 10 different formats. So that being said, a lot of people confuse followers with income. You could have 1 million followers on Instagram because you've got a six-pack or, you've got a good look or whatever it may be. However, monetizing it is a different thing. So what we've got to look at here is how, and this is what I'm specifically talking about, is monetizing your social media, not just being popular, monetizing it, making it work. So world's biggest marketplace by far is Facebook, and that's what I'm going to focus on. It's also a place where you can easily blow it. So if you're faced, there's a couple of things here with Facebook. Get your stuff public. Because if you come up with, or rather when you come up with great posts and they get shared out to places, if you're on private, no one can see it. So if you're building your own brand, and we'll talk about brands in a second, if you're building your own brand, you want to ensure people can see it. You might make a great video that could go viral, but if you've got it on privacy, it will not. However, if you do have things that you don't want going public, let's say it's family pictures, or it could be anything, it could be a post, you can set those individuals as private or friends of friends, and all that is in Facebook settings. Now, we've got about 30 minutes today, so I'm not going to go through the individual how-tos and whats, but if you just go into settings and you can play around with that. Now, a couple of other things with social media, specifically Facebook. Pretty much everybody has it. So how do I translate day-to-day life into Facebook? Because some people do this in a face-to-face, belly-to-belly, however you describe it. Arena. I've done mine on Facebook. One of the reasons being is when I started with this business, however many months ago it was, whatever, way back when, I was in New York City. I knew a bunch of people, but New York is so diverse as far as size-wise and district-wise that you don't often build a community. So my community was really Facebook, and that's what I had to build from. Then moving to San Diego, I knew absolutely no one. So one of the things I will do with people is everyone I meet, it could be anything from your Uber driver to your gas station attendant to the person at the coffee shop to just some random person you meet anywhere. I've got a very specific thing. And I just say very specifically, as I'm chatting with someone, and Uber drivers, cab drivers, whatever it may be, just having a chat, just general conversation like you would in life. What I'm not going to do is have a chat with an Uber driver and say, hey, by the way, buy my stuff. I'm going to engage in a conversation the same way you would. So if you treat your social media like you would in real life, if you treat your social media like you would in real life, think about that, how you'd approach people. So I'm in a situation whereby I meet a lot of people every day, and I make my point of meeting people every day. So I've got a different coffee shop. So whatever your own personal situation may be, you may be a soccer mom and you talk to all the soccer moms. So what I always do in every situation is just simply tell people, as I'm having a conversation, chatting with them and engaging about anything about life, not product, just life. And I'll just say, hey, you know what? Grab your phone a second, open your Facebook, type this in. I got some really cool stuff going on. Uber drivers, for example, I say, I've got some really cool stuff going on. Every Uber driver in San Diego is on my Facebook. There's a reason for that. And I just let them do that. So what we're doing there is what I call filling the hopper. You've got more eyes on you every single day. Because if you're not filling that hopper, you've only got that, 100, 200,000 people, that's it. And this is also life. If you've only got a certain circle, that's going to run out at a certain point. If you're constantly expanding, meeting new people, now just something to be aware of here if you're new to Facebook land, pretty much everyone's been in Facebook jail. What we mean by that is when you join and you see all these pictures of people who look interesting or whatever the case may be, and you send a bunch of friend requests out, and all of a sudden you sent a load of friend requests out and they haven't all been accepted, you get blocked. First, I think it's for 24 hours, then 3 days, and a bit longer. And, the term is Facebook jail. Not a big deal. It happens to everyone. However, if you are sending friend requests out to build up your social media foundation, it's always better to send friend requests out to people that you've got common friends with in reality, people you actually know in reality, not just a Facebook friend you've never met or had a convo with, someone you know in reality. So you've got some common ground, some rapport to speak with. And if they look at that and if they ask that mutual friend, who is this guy? Who is this girl? You want to be sure that mutual friend said, oh, they're pretty cool. Yeah, they're good. They've got interesting stuff going on. You also want to make sure that your Facebook doesn't look like an advertising billboard, because, from my point of view, and I'm pretty much every waking hour on social media, get a lot of friend requests. I'm backed up, I don't know, maybe 1,000 right now. They're not all real. There's a lot of fake stuff out there. Fake accounts, what I mean. So I look at it, and if it looks like a billboard for anything, there's no way I'm going to accept that. Why? Because I use Pandora and I pay not to have ads on it. I pay not to have ads on certain things. I definitely don't want to see someone's Facebook that looks like a billboard. So on that, you've got the world's biggest marketplace. Don't blow it by being what we call a weirdo. Don't all of a sudden go from someone that rides horses every day and it's all family pictures to something that's all product based. Instantly overnight. It just makes you look weird and it gets too much in people's face. There's a transition with that. So again, I tell people, grab your phone, open your Facebook, type me in. What you're trying to do with your social media is, and I'm talking specifically about free social media. I'm not talking about paid ads. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm just talking about everything you can do free to build a business. And I built mine free. So everything you can do free to build a business, what you need to do is build your own brand. So if you are the horse riding dressage champion that just so happens to drink therapeutic ketones, that's great. You're building the brand around you, and the therapeutic ketones are part of your brand. You are not a company brand. You don't want to lose that to the point in which you become too intrinsically linked that you actually lose your reality to people, and people just think of you as a company. This is from the voice experience. I've only done one of these once before, it was a few years ago, and people 4 years later still ask, oh, do you still work with that company? That was telling me there was just too much company stuff going on and not enough on my own personal things. I'm going off notes here, guys, so I'm bouncing backwards and forwards a little bit. And if you can hear pinging, by the way, the downside of social media, it just never stops. So my point here is, what I want is my messenger filling up. So to get to my messenger filling up, there's a process. If I'm putting too much information out there, my messenger isn't going to fill up. What's going to happen is you're going to direct people to Google, which will direct them to places, who knows where, eBay, Amazon, all these places. And essentially you're driving business away from yourself by giving too much information. So what you're trying to do with social media is pique people's curiosity. You're not trying to shift product on social media. You're trying to pique the curiosity so your inbox fills up, because any business conversations want taking place in your messenger box, not in public. Because in public, you're engaged with one person, you have that conversation, but other people are watching, and it could be a massive turnoff in terms of they don't want to wear their laundry in public, they don't want to be stupid in public, or it's just like, oh, this is weird, and they don't do it. So you've got to get people to your messenger inbox. So to do that, the easy way is pique people's curiosity. You've got all kinds of tools you can do that with. Make Google your best friend. You could type in something like ketogenic diet and then find a credible article, and then what I would call is own it. So what I mean by owning it, lots of my videos are out there, thousands, and some people will share them, and some people will share them and make their own connection to it. So this is what I mean by owning a video. Doesn't matter whose video it is. It could be anyone's. When you post it and just share it directly, the traffic is generally going to go back to whoever made the video. If you share a video, let's say it's one of mine, for example, and you share this and say, hey, I spoke with this guy, Tony, or I met this guy, Tony, in Dallas, or I met this guy, Tony, or I had a chat with this guy, Tony. It's not about me. It becomes about you. You own it. I met this guy, Tony, and I was chatting with him about sugar for an hour. Could be anything. The fact that you've actually made a connection between the video, doesn't have to be mine, the video and your connection to the video. It could be, and I'm just using the horse world because I've been dealing with a lot of horse people recently. Or, hey, look at this video of this stallion and the rider. And, here's my take on this. This rider's posture looks like he'd been riding 30 years. His posture, if I was a horse riding person, his posture looks not suitable for that horse because of he's obviously put on weight over the years or whatever it may be. So you're owning that video. That's what I mean. It's very, very important. Now, the video thing is you just got to get yourself out there. The picture's worth 1,000 words, of video is worth 1,000,000. The other things with videos is they get shared infinite times more than a quote or a meme or a photograph. If you look at things that have gone viral, Gangnam Style or Harlem Shake or any of these things, it's always video. Never a picture. It's always video. So get yourself comfortable with that. As far as live streaming videos go, for traffic, that's the only way. There are certain hacks on the live stream you can do. You can invite people as you're filming it. You can share it out after the fact. There's various things. Again, I'm not going to do a lot on that right now. All I would say about live streams is don't do them while you're driving. 2 reasons. Most people do them while they're driving. So your video just looks like everyone else's and no one's paying attention. More important than that is from a safety aspect, you're not paying fully attention to the road if you're driving a car making a video. So just on that point, don't do it. Your communication skills, if you're sat behind a desk and you're not using your arms or hands to speak, communication is 7% based upon the words we use, 38% based upon our voice, 55% based upon our physiology, our body language. So when our body language stops, it affects our voice and we'll start talking slower and then people start watching the video. So literally you have to let the product speak through you. You're not pitching the product. You're letting people see your energy levels. You're letting people see your enthusiasm. You're letting people see. 99% of my videos are not about products. They're all about content. If you adopt the Gary Vaynerchuk principle of jab, 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 right hook, get your content out there, get people watching you, and it could be about anything. Get people watching you, and then when they watch you and they subscribe. When you're doing live streams, make sure you tell people, hey, subscribe and share, subscribe and share. And that is when the notifications go on that Tony Collins just gone live. Subscribe. And as I'm doing it, subscribe and share, because then more notifications go out and more people start watching them, and you get more traffic and more stuff gets shared. So your message gets out there. However, you've got to have good content, because they're not, if you don't, they're not going to subscribe, they're not going to share. If it's all product, it becomes like a TV ad. You know, it just doesn't really get shared that much. So on that, and I'm flipping in and out of notes here, you know, become your own brand, be synonymous for something which could be, or often is, a connection to the brand. So if you're an endurance athlete, if you're a long distance cyclist, if you're a high jumper, CrossFitter, horse rider, golf pro, doctor, single mom with 4 kids, whatever it is, become that brand and align that with the product. A couple of other things here. Is your social media your main source of income? In my case, it is. So I got to be very careful what goes on there. It's, you know, mindful of it. Sometimes you'll put stuff on there and you just think this is not right. And sometimes you'll see other stuff. And if it's going to affect you, so one thing I'm going to touch on that is spam tagging. What do I mean by that? Is when you put a post up and you tag everyone that is in the community on that post, what you've done is stopped anyone else watching it, because you've actually, if you think of social media like a big spinning magnet, and that's the analytics, and you're trying to track things into that analytics. So if you use certain words, certain keywords, if you put on, for example, I'm getting married in 6 months, all of a sudden your analytics, that magnet, is going to start attracting things like wedding-based stuff. You've seen this in your ads, in the paid ads. They're aligned with interests you've got. That's not by accident, that's the analytics. So if you are spam tagging everyone that works in the community with you, 7% of all your Facebook friends are seeing your posts. And they're the ones that are most interactive with you. If they're all within that community, 93% of people that are not actually seeing what you want them to see. So just be a bit mindful of that one. A couple of other things. Occasionally people will tell you that you post too much. If you like me and you post a lot, and I post into groups, or I'll share from pages into groups and vice versa, and I'll bounce stuff around. I've got a bunch of pages, a bunch of groups, that kind of stuff. So I don't post 100 things a day on my own personal one. I'll stick stuff in other places. I'll certainly put 100 posts a day up, but however, social media is my main source of income through this. So a couple of other things. Make your stuff public. If there's anything you don't want to see public, let's say, you know, pictures of your kids, that type of thing, you can just put those on private, or friends, or whatever the case may be. Mix it up. So this is your own personal preference. Personally, politics, religion, for me personally, is a massive turnoff in life. That's just me personally. So anything I see with that, I just block people. And I block people regularly. Anything that's going to affect my income, bear in mind, my income is coming through social media. So anything at all that's going to affect it, spam tagging, for example, I just block people. It's nothing personal. It's just business. If it's going to affect my income, I'll get it out the way. And again, it's just me personally. Controversy is fine, but, you know, anything at all, current events that you may be able to align with what we do. You know, a few months ago, there was a butter shortage in Korea. So you can use that to your advantage. It doesn't mention the products. It mentions the movement, you know, low carb, high fat, ketogenic, whatever it may be, for using more butter. And there's so many alignments with things now, stuff popping up, articles are all over. By the way, if you share stuff, make sure it's from a credible source. You know, if it's an article, make sure it's from a credible source. If it's a meme, okay, I've got some very interesting news for you. All memes are not 100% accurate. So when you've got something that says this, that, and the other fruit might cures this, that, and it's a meme, you know, do your homework on that one. You don't look like an idiot. A couple of other things. Current events, relative current events, I'd stay away from news because generally it's toxic and it's just going to create, I mean, it's great, creates traffic. Now and again, you've got to be a bit controversial with things if you want to just stir a bit of traffic up there. Humor is fine. A little bit controversy, topical, not all health and fitness based, because again, it's a turn-off if everything's going all one way. It's a turn-off if everything's all about one thing. It's a turn-off if all that's on your picture, your stuff is pictures of your kids, it will turn some people off. Not that there's anything wrong with your kids, it will just turn some people off. So if you're using social media as your window to the world, you've got to engage with as many people as possible. A couple of other things, we've covered that. So again, social media, 3% of people will like. These are the people that actually see your post. 3% like, 7% will comment, 90% are watching and saying nothing. Those 90% are the ones that will just randomly send you a message into your Facebook Messenger saying, hey, Tony, you know, I've been watching your stuff for 9 months now. I've been delving into it. I tried that fat coffee thing. I did this. I just want to know more. What is it you actually, you know, what is it you guys do? That's what you want going on. And it is a patience game. So if you put a post out there and you're not getting responses, don't get upset. Just put a different post out there. You know, and I'd put a video out and there's only 5 people watch. Great. You know, 1 is better than none. Keep doing it. Just keep doing it and tweak it. Take your business convo to your messenger, which we already covered. If your messenger, if you're not getting messages into your messenger everyday inquiries, and it could be anything, in my case, a lot of it is, what do you even do for a living? Because if you see my Facebook, it is more lifestyle based, and it's not, you know, it's nothing other than the reality. You know, I go to this coffee shop, I go for a walk there, I do my thing. Like, what do you do for a living? Or you could align that with anything, you know. There's guys that are in the endurance community that were breaking their own personal best records, and their messenger would be filled with, what have you done that's different? Or you could, you know, if you're a mom with 4 kids, and all of a sudden your kids are behaving better, or you're more relaxed and people notice on that, that's where your messenger fills up. So a couple of other things on there. If that's not happening, your social media needs tweaking. You should always be getting some questions into your inbox randomly. You get questions, and this is just something to be very mindful of. If you get someone saying on your stream, hey, what is this stuff? Can you tell me more about it? Don't get into lazy phase where you just throw a link out to their Facebook Messenger. Certainly don't get into a conversation in your Facebook stream. Take it to the Messenger, because you want private conversations, because you're going to create more private conversations. Take it to the Messenger, but, you know, again, you don't want to be just sending a link. Hey, Tony, can you tell me more about this stuff? Yeah, sure, I'll take it to Messenger. Hi, John, how are you? What's going on in your world? Oh, good, what's going on with you? Blah, 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 backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. For, you know, whatever it takes, not forever. Oh, yeah, by the way, John, yeah, I forgot why I was actually messaging you now. You're asking me about this thing that we do. Yeah, what is it specifically you wanting to know? Engage, so going from rapport to engagement, not to link. And there are certain key questions to get to that link. 5 key questions to get to the video. So all you're trying to do is get to the video. I'm not going to do that now. It's a whole coaching session in itself. And again, I'm bouncing backwards forwards through my notes here. A couple of no-nos. A couple of things that will really mess up your social media. Spam tagging I've covered. So if you don't know what it is, it's when you've got a post and it could be anything and you tag 99 people in it or 50 people in it. And they're all in the community. You know, 1 or 2 is fine and it's actually good in some cases. You know, I do a lot of screenshots, or if I'm with someone, or if I've got something going on in a certain place that is relating to someone that sent me to that place. Oh, thanks, George. Yeah, you know what? I found this really cool coffee shop. You weren't here, but thanks for sending me anyway. I'm sat down in this coffee shop. So you've sort of tagged George in a nice, pleasant way in terms of you're engaging and getting more people watching. Hashtags, if you don't know how they work, you know what the hashtag symbol is. So you can hashtag anything you want, create your own. Create your own. So when you hit any hashtag at all, you touch it, it will take you to anything related to that hashtag. So if you hit the hashtag, like I'm just like where I was today, Lamborghini of La Jolla, or whatever it may be, and you hit that hashtag, it should take you to anyone that's been there, any articles about it, anything on social media. If you hit the hashtag ketone technology, it will take you to something else. So I've got my own, I'm not going to do it here, this is not about me, but that's how hashtags actually work. So utilize hashtags. If you're doing health, fitness, food, there's too many people using those hashtags, they won't be effective. We do something a little bit different, hashtag 4-hour work week, or hashtag NASA, or hashtag, you know, just stuff that you don't really think of. That stuff is great to work with hashtags. A couple of other things. Another no-no, posting your link. Posting your link. Just don't do it. Simple reason is you're not engaging. It makes you look lazy, but more to the point, because you're not engaging, someone could click on your link, watch something, and then go off into Google land and try and research this stuff. In which case you've lost their attention, you've lost their, not so much their interest, but you've lost their attention. They're off elsewhere, and they may not understand our business model, so they may innocently buy something off somewhere like Amazon and eBay that maybe isn't even what it's meant to be. Maybe it's an empty tub refilled, but more to the point, you have lost them as a client. They've gone elsewhere, and this happens. And it's not their fault, because they don't know that they have to buy it through your link. They go, oh, this, that, and the other, prove it, Google, and they might end up buying off someone else's link that is just more active than you. So on that count, you don't want to be putting your link out there at all. And final thing, if you are utilizing social media for your income and people are affecting your social media, I mentioned this before, you just got to block them, okay? And it's nothing personal. It's the same way as if you were doing it belly to belly and you were sat with someone, talking to them face to face, and someone jumps at your table and starts ruining the conversation. You've got to get that person away from the table. You've got to treat social media the same way. In reality, guys, it's the biggest marketplace in the world, but it's like any other marketplace. If you treat it like TV, what do people do when commercials come on TV? They channel surf. You want to avoid that situation? You've got to get yourself out there a little bit, but you've got to make your whole social media interesting and engaging, and not all just completely product-based. Relationship-based is what you're going for, not transactional, relationship-based. So that being said, thanks for watching. I hope this was of help for you all. So Tony Cohen from San Diego, Southern California. Appreciate Brian James for giving me the opportunity to do this, and all you guys for watching. And if I can ever be of any help to any of you guys, don't be shy to reach out. So thanks once more.